Well, hey everybody, this is Kim Roberts, and welcome to CTA's Court Calls, the show where tennis players from the Triangle area call in with their questionable court calls for our panel of judges. Speaking of judges, let's meet them. Today we have Joanne Hudley, a USTA umpire. Joanne, are you there?
I'm here.
Great. And our next panel is Steve Rochkind, who is the girls and boys tennis coach at Riverside High School and vice president of the CTA. Steve, are you there?
I'm here.
Great. Let's first start with, is there any updates, Steve, we want to talk about lacking of tennis play in our area? What's going on? What's the news? What can you tell us?
God, I wish there was some really good stuff that I could give you, but I do know that certainly some localities are open and are playing. I know Wake, and I know Western Wake rather, and Raleigh. I know that they're already playing. And that matches. In fact, I know that one of my teams is playing this Saturday, and they're making up the spring matches. And so as a consequence of that, of course, they're not giving refunds out. Durham, as we know, has canceled the spring season, and they are giving refunds depending on what age group you were in as to how much you're going to get, and also whether or not your team actually played any matches. And that's all factored into that. And as we know, the captains have received that information and have passed it on to the individuals that were playing league tennis this spring. Some localities are doing some programming in the summer. I know that Raleigh Tennis Association is doing a free mixed doubles kind of thing. And all you have to do is put in a request to be on a team, and they will allow you on a team, and there's no charge for any of that, and that's really great. Yeah. Cary, Western Wake, I'm not exactly sure whether they're going to do a summer thing or not, because they're still finishing up the spring leagues. So we'll kind of see how that goes moving forward. As far as tournaments, the USTA has already started junior tournaments. There was one last weekend, and there was some published data that I saw on Facebook about the 18 and over and 16 and over and 15 and over winners in those categories. I think it was in Wakefield. So they're, in some areas that are open, they're going ahead and doing it. Durham, as we know, is one of the more conservative areas in terms of making those kind of decisions. And for those of us who are a little older, we perhaps appreciate that a little bit. And Durham, I believe, well, I know Durham will, of course, has canceled spring leagues. Like I said, there will be refunds on that. Where they decide to go in the summer is still up in the air, and hopefully we'll hear about that really soon. As far as the public schools go, right now, Durham public schools are ready to start voluntary tennis workouts starting on July 7th, which means that those tennis courts will be open to the high school teams. Whether or not they will then again lock them up afterwards, I don't actually have an answer for that yet. And as I'm a key holder, it's probably something I need to know. So as soon as I know something, we're actually waiting on the governor to make a decision about schools. My understanding was that he was going to do that on July 1st, that he was going to decide whether or not schools, i.e. number one, would they open, how they would open, and whether or not they would have any fall sports or not. And being that we don't start till July 7th, we had some running room in case he decided to cancel. But as far as we know, that's where we're at. And like I said, I'm a key holder, so if I'm told I can leave my courts open, unlocked after my practices, which are at 7 a.m., that'll be great. Yeah, the Durham Public Schools are all having all their fall sports practices at 7 a.m., starting at 7 a.m., with COVID-19 screening and all kinds of stuff prior to practicing. So as soon as we know
the screening,
the coaches, we have been given a screening form, and including temperature checks and the questions about, have you been traveling? Is anybody in your family symptomatic? Do you have a cough? Have you had a fever? All those kinds of things. and the parents are required to stay while the coaches screen each individual child before they're allowed on the court. And if a child flunks one of the questions, the parent has to scoop them up and take them home. So they can't actually leave the practice area before the child has been appropriately screened. So that's how the Durham public school system is playing it. And so coaches all have to coach with masks on. So I'm going to let you know how that goes, because I don't know that I'm really excited about that.
But the players won't have to wear masks as they practice.
No, they will not. North Carolina High School Athletic Association has specifically stated that that players during actual playing practice time will be wearing masks. But the social distancing part is still very much in effect.
So let's go to our players who have questions for our panelists. Audrey is from Durham. Audrey, what's your question?
Great. I have two questions. One's a real easy one, and one's a little bit more tricky. I don't know. What do you guys feel like today?
Oh,
give us a tricky.
Yeah, we like
Bring
tricky.
it on.
Yeah.
All right. So during a long rally, my opponent ended up just catching the ball in the middle of play and claimed the ball was too soft. So that she wanted to have, I guess, a let on that ball, on that play, but it was, I thought we should have just finished it out first, like finish the point and then discuss it. So I didn't, to me, the ball was, a fresh can of balls I witnessed being opened. It seemed fine. What's the call on someone claiming a ball is too soft and just stopping in the middle of play?
Well, the short version is the person who caught the ball lost the point because, well, once you look at it, if the ball is soft, then you get a fresh ball and put it in play, but the point counts. If the ball is turned out to be broken, completely broken, then you do get a let. So if the ball had been broken, you would have played a let. But since it wasn't broken, she just lost the point. Does that clear it up?
Yeah, we could have used that the day because then no one ever got an agreement and everybody just left.
Yeah, I understand that people just walked off the court.
Yes, that was it.
Because they were mad.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Well, somebody won.
Right.
Yeah, whoever left first, the other team won.
Right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Actually, that happened to me. I was officiating a college match, and one of the players caught the ball and called a let, and it turned out that the ball wasn't broken. And I made a mistake on that one because I allowed the let.
And what's your definition of the ball being broken?
You actually have to see physically that there is like a cut in the ball.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Not that it
Yeah.
just feels a certain way.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's just soft.
Yes, soft doesn't.
Soft doesn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, after the point had ended, if the player that felt the ball was soft came over to you and said, "Hey, look, this is squishy," you can go, "Okay, well, we'll replace that, or we'll play without that ball." But during the point, nuh-uh.
I agree.
What was your other part?
Let's see. This is a real simple one, I think. The opponent had a second serve, and they went really wide with their second toss on their second serve, and they swung and they just whiffed it, and then they were just grabbing the ball and starting it again, and I'd already walked to the other side to start the next point.
You were right.
You were right.
A swing and a miss is a fault.
Yep. First serve or second serve. First serve, if it's a swing and a miss, then they get a second serve.
Right.
Second serve, swing and a miss, you lose the point. Now, what's interesting about that, a lot of people also ask about, well, what happens if I toss the ball and catch the ball with my racket? That's actually allowed. You're allowed to catch you're allowed to catch the ball with the racket, providing it doesn't look like a swing. It doesn't look like you're actually trying to hit the ball. If you scoop under it, or you can catch it anywhere, providing it doesn't look as if you were in a service motion.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's one of those little trick question things.
Yeah, I would not have known that.
Yeah.
Well, oh, go ahead, Joanne.
Service motion is crucial because if I'm serving a second serve and I get interrupted during my service motion, I get a first serve.
Right.
Service motion is part of the serve.
We did have a question from a caller via email, and it was the caller was going in for a short shot on the side of the court and got off court almost into the next court to retrieve it, swung at it, got the point into the opponent's court. The court that she veered into called hindrance, and the opponent that she was playing against stopped play, even though she hit it and got the point.
Where did she hit it from?
Off court, almost into the next court. She hit it off court. And of course, with southern boundaries, those alleys are
Pretty narrow, yeah.
pretty narrow.
As long as it's not on the other person's court, it's allowed.
It is allowed.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
Even though the next court called hindrance because they clearly saw her moving into their court. Didn't make it to the court, but they saw them saw her move into that court.
They're calling a hindrance on their court, not
Yes.
on her court.
Right.
That-
and
and
her opponent stopped play because of that.
Her opponent was wrong.
Okay. I will let her know. Okay, our next caller or tennis player is Keith. Keith, what you got for us?
Hi everyone. Yeah, my question is, I like to play quite close to the net, and there's been occasions where people have said I'm a wee bit too close to the net, and so my understanding is that I'm allowed to hit the ball on my side of the net, but if the racket passes over the net, that's okay, so long as the contact was prior to going over the net. Or am I allowed to hit it once it's over? I mean, I'm not allowed to hit it when the ball's not on my side of the court yet, right?
Right.
Except the one exception, Joanne.
Right.
We know the one exception. The one exception is if the ball bounces on your side of the net one time and it has backspin on it and it goes over the net, and before it bounces on the other side of the net, you can reach over the net and hit the ball, and it still counts as long as you don't touch the net with your body or with your racket.
Or with your clothes.
Or with your clothes, yeah.
But I am allowed to hit. I am allowed to follow through onto the other side of the net.
Follow through is allowed, yes.
Follow through is as long as the contact's prior to the net. Now, what if somebody pulls me up and said, "Oh no, we think the contact was afterwards"? Who makes the call?
Well, they can have their opinion, but it's the person who hit the ball who makes the call on himself.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a player-controlled foul, so to speak.
Yeah.
You have to make the call, and it's whether you're honest about it or whether you're absolutely sure. That's the other thing. I mean, if I'm very close to the net and, I impact the ball very close to the net, and if I'm playing doubles particularly, and my partner isn't really sure whether I went over the net, then I should probably give the point to my opponent. So it's a question of fairness and objectivity, and it's very hard when you're calling it on yourself. So.
I hope that answers your question, Keith.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, good. Well, that is a wrap on this edition of Court Calls. If you have a question for our panel, please contact us via our website, www.enocta.tennis, and submit your question, and we'll put you on the air. Until next time, everybody, stay safe, and we hope to see you on the court soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See y'all.
See ya.
Okay.